Welcome back to Great Day Washington. The clothing industry produces 80 billion garments a year, pollutes the environment, and exploits laborers worldwide.
So how do we support the environment and the laborers while still looking fashionable? There is a new book out to help guide us on this journey. It's called What to Wear and Why, Your Guide to Sustainable Fashion. And the author, Tiffanie Darke, joins us now to share more. Welcome to Great Day.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
We appreciate you raising awareness and shining a light on this. When did it come to you that you wanted to put your passion behind this?
Well, I've been a fashion editor for a long time, and I've worked at magazines, I've worked in stores, and actually it was during the pandemic when I realized there was a massive disconnect between what was going on in the world and the way that we were consuming things, that I decided I needed to educate myself. And when I learned about the issues behind the environment and the climate and the way fashion was contributing to it, so fashion is the third biggest polluting industry in the world, like more than aviation. I was absolutely horrified that the industry I worked in was so guilty of these pollutions and also of these terrible labor practices. So what I wanted to do was to carry on enjoying fashion, because we love it, right?
Of course. Right.
But just work out a good way to do that.
Yeah.
All right, so what's kind of one of the first steps we can take? Is it looking for labels that are sustainable? How can we still feel good, but know we're doing good for the environment?
First up, it is really complex, actually. So there are some very kind of straight guidelines. I would always choose products and fabrics that are natural. This means that they're going to biodegrade, because 60% of the clothes that we produce are made from synthetic materials, which means that they will take 1,000 years to break down in landfill. And our landfills are already full.
Right.
So natural fabrics is a really, really good start. Secondly, try and buy from independent designers, because the big designers and the big brands that make things on a mass scale are doing it as cheaply as they possibly can, and they're using labor that is not always treated properly or paid properly. Lots and lots of our clothes are made in the global south, where there is no oversight over how things are made, and quite often they have toxic chemicals on them, and we don't even know. Like the dyes are really toxic, but we don't know because it's happening a long way away.
And we're putting that on our bodies.
Next to our skin.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow. That's fascinating to think about. You're always looking for the good deal. You want to get something cheap and be able to expand your closet, but that doesn't sound like it's the best.
Do you know what? We are so used to buying cheap clothing, but back in the old days when things weren't cheap, when cotton was expensive, we used to have maybe 2 outfits in our wardrobe for the entire week. There would be something for work, and then there'd be something for Sunday best. And actually, if you go back in history, there's a garment in the V&A Museum in London that started life as a dress in the 1700s, and then by 1850 it was a corset. We really treasured our clothes. We really looked after them because they were expensive, and we needed to care for them. And we quite often, if something broke, we would mend it, or we would upcycle it, and we'd turn dresses into tops, and kind of trousers into skirts, and that kind of thing, and pass things on to our daughters and our granddaughters. And we've just forgotten about that now, because we have this sea of really cheap goods, but it's not doing the world any good.
I do hear, like, especially I have 2 teenagers, so they'll buy something, I'll be like, oh, it's cute. Oh, this was from so-and-so, it cost me $12. If it shrinks in the first wash, that's fine, it wasn't worth it. But that just continues that cycle. Like, how do we even teach our young kids about this?
Yeah, well, you just have to say, if it only cost you $12 somewhere, someone else is paying for it. Like, think about what it takes to make that $12 t-shirt. But actually, young kids are really good at buying secondhand. Like, they have these great platforms where they trade their clothes. So I think they are already thinking about that idea that clothes last for a bit longer. And if you persuade them to buy something which is a little bit more expensive, but it is made a bit better, then they can cash out later on, because they'll be able to sell it.
Right.
So it's this whole idea of basically buy less, choose well, make it last.
Yeah. This is fascinating.
So many more questions.
We got to read the book. Thank you for coming in. We want to share with everybody. You can grab a copy of What to Wear and Why wherever books are sold. And you can also follow Tiffanie on Instagram at Tiff Darke.